Hey everybody, so I've got another what sold video for you, just a quick one, and it's from May 13th through the 19th, so last month. We're still working our way through, and I wanted to start off the video with a Depop sale, which is kind of different from what I usually do, but I wanted to talk about Depop and selling on Depop just because in case you didn't know about it, Vendoo, if you use Vendoo and you didn't know about this, Vendoo's the cross-listing service that I use to get my items, not just on eBay, but onto Poshmark, Depop, Etsy, other places like that. You can also cross-post to Whatnot. Whatnot is not just the live shows. They do have a marketplace that you can cross-post to as well. But anywho, Depop is something that I'm trying to, I want to work up and see if I can get a little more traction on Depop. And so for the month of June, Vendoo and Depop have connected, and they are, let me find my little thing. So they held a masterclass for Depop. They hosted like a webinar kind of thing that you could get a link to. I think if you check the Depop YouTube channel, it might just be there. I do have the link, and I had signed up for it, but I didn't watch it live. And honestly, I haven't watched it yet. I'm hoping to watch it tonight and just see if there's any more tips and tricks about selling on Depop that I didn't already know about. I am trying to list more things on Depop as far as even like, I tend to kind of have a narrow view of what sells there. So I might only list kind of my Y2K and my 90s, which definitely does do well there. But, as long as there's a category for the item, I'm thinking I should be cross-posting some stuff over there. So that's what some other Depop sellers have said, that they sell hard goods, they sell vintage hard goods, all sorts of different things on there. And the shipping on Depop is kind of interesting. It's kind of like Mercari. It's just, you can use your own shipping, but you can also use labels where you just pick the pound, and Depop generates the labels for you. But anyway, so Vendoo and Depop, the exciting part about this is that they are, they're making it, because Depop and Vendoo teamed up for the whole month of June, any listing that you list on Depop in the month of June, and then if it sells in June, has no selling fees, just the payment processing fee. So far I've sold 2 items like that, and neither one had fees. They were things I had already had listed on other sites, and then I just, in June, cross-posted those items into Depop, and they sold, and so I didn't have any fees on those 2 items. So it's definitely a nice little incentive for the month of June. So that's why I kind of wanted to mention it now at the beginning of the month, just in case you were thinking about Vendoo. I always have a link to it down below, my affiliate link, and I think there's a bonus code that you can add to it. You'll get 40% off your first month. And that code is good for this month only. So I'll put all that information down in the description below. And then they're doing giveaways, and they're doing listing challenges and things like that as well. So stay tuned. Let's see if in the next, in my what sold videos in June, if my Depop sales increase, and we'll see how that continues to go. Anyway, so what I sold here was a kind of a cowboy tie bar. It could work as a money clip too if somebody doesn't necessarily want to wear a tie and wear it on their tie. It actually sold for $25, and I think that was either an offer I sent or an offer I got back from somebody, but not too bad. $25 for that, plus shipping. So let's go over to eBay, and we're starting with a Filson sale. Filson's one of those brands we love, especially vintage Filson. I had gotten a few pairs of Filson pants and shorts and stuff. I think this might be the last pair that I had to sell, And I did have it at the highest price of the things I listed. I had it listed for $99.99. It's an older pair, and it's the cloth or the fabric that they use is called dry tin cloth pants. Anyway, you can tell the paper tag kind of shows that it's a vintage item. And my notes say that it's an international sale. It sold for that full asking price of $99.99. Took a couple months to sell, but was worth the wait. This dress sold for $55. It's a 1970s Hawaiian maxi dress. I honestly could not figure out which way was the front and what was the back. I guess it depended on the person, how they wanted to wear it, how risque they wanted to be. But what was interesting was that the fabric was UV reactive. So, you know, I put a black light on it and the neon little flowers would light up. So that's kind of a fun thing to look for in vintage Hawaiian fabrics. Next up is a health and beauty item. This was by CoverGirl. I had 2 of these and they're sold out now, $35 each. This was just a discontinued. We've talked about discontinued items recently. This is a discontinued makeup product and it sold for $35. Next up, just a small sale, was this Duluth Trading Company. So it's like a fleece ear warmer band kind of thing, but the slot in it was for putting the brim bill of your baseball cap through it. So anyway, we picked that up and probably at our little bins, and it sold for $13. Then not a big sale here either. $15 for the Kodak Easy Chair. I don't recommend picking up Kodak Easy Chairs. This just happened to be in the big lot, I think, of cameras and things that Mr. Pish Posh picked up a while back at our bins. So he listed that for $25. We took a $15 offer. And speaking of Hawaiian, I sold some fabric. So this was barcloth fabric, and it was by THC and Hawaiian Textiles Company. It was a little over 1 yard, and I sold it for $22.49. Jeep Girl, a hat I think Mr. Pish Posh picked up at the bins one day. Jeeps are popular, so we knew it would move. $16.99, sold for that full asking price. Duluth Alaskan Hard Gear. This sold for $28, so not too bad. Just kind of like a heavier duty shirt jacket kind of thing. A shacket I used in my title because it can a little bit heavier than a regular shirt. And we sold that for $28. And then another vintage hat. Maybe the first vintage hat of the day, but this is from the 80s. It's for Nissan. And it had the braided rope trim right there. That didn't sell for $50, but it did sell for $35, which is not too bad for a baseball cap. And then this was kind of interesting. I picked this up at the bins, our little local clearance store, and I was I didn't know what it was, but I picked it up. It was weird looking. And it said TaylorMade. And I showed it to Mr. Pish Posh, and he's like, yeah, I was looking at that. But he's like, I couldn't figure it out. And I said, well, it says TaylorMade, so maybe it's like for a golf cart. It's like a mirror, right? For a golf cart or something like that. So it's the bins, right? So you just throw it in and you figure it out later. It turned out to be for a boat part. It was a boat mirror. And it sold for $21. So not bad, just paying a few cents. I don't even know what we paid that day for everything, but it's never a lot. Melita, these are just kind of bread and butter type items that we pick up usually pretty cheaply. They're single cup pour overs by Melita. We've sold them in different colors, and this one sold for the full $14.99. couple forks. I had sold the spoons, I think maybe in the last video, for pretty good money. The dinner forks were like, okay, and they weren't brand new. So they sold for, it's still $7.50 a piece, so that's not bad. Next up is a good brand to keep an eye out for, Rip Skirt. I'm going to show you the tag. Just happened to be looking through the skirts at Goodwill one day. I think women's clothes were half off. And I saw this one Rip Skirt, and it, you know, it's got the, it's kind of like a little wrap, kind of, I think, like a bathing suit cover-up style. And, or good for travel or things like that. And anyway, it had the nice hibiscus print and everything like that. So I did a quick look up on my phone, and sell-through looked really good. And so it did. It sold probably within a day, within 24 hours, for $30. And so I thought that was a good deal, and I would keep my eyes out open for that. When you go to the website Rip Skirt, that's all they sell, is these skirts, and in different lengths. And so they have a shorter one, I think they have a longer one, and this was a size medium. It sold for $30. Love fast sales. Villeroy and Bach set of bowls sold for $60 is the offer that I went ahead and took. And yeah, anyway, I'll show you the mark. I picked these up at Goodwill not that long ago. I think there were other pieces there, but the bowls seem to sell. And a lot of times in dinnerware, bowls will sell for more than other pieces. This was a fun sale. This was a Bohemian crystal bowl. I asked for help in different places, and I also got the terminology thousand eyes for the way this optical illusion kind of thing is designed in these bowls, where you kind of look at it from one angle and it looks like there's way more circles than there are. So I thought that was really cool. This ended up being an international sale. And I was just thinking about it when I was making this video, and I'm like, man, I hope it made it to them. Because it's just, I just need to get it to the eBay shipping center. And so it showed delivered there. But anyway, I happened to look at my feedback today, and I did get feedback from the buyer, who was super, super happy. And they called it a holy grail. And the Google Translate was very funny. So they said, "Dear sir, dear madam, thank you very much indeed for having responded to my interest in your wonderful, unique Thousand Eyes Bohemian Crystal Bowl by your special offer. It is a great festive event, and I anticipate to receiving the masterpiece such as a holy grail. I wish you a great weekend as well." Anyway, it was cute. And so we had taken an offer for $89.99, or sent an offer for $89.99, and they were super happy about that, because they still had to pay all the shipping and customs and things like that. And it made it there in one piece, so hooray, Mr. Pish Posh, and your shipping abilities. And I do promise, I talked about in the last video that we have ideas for videos, and more shipping videos will be coming. We just kind of have been going in a lot of different directions lately, so we're going to try to get some more footage. You know, I think actually Mr. Pish Posh might have some footage ready to go. We just have to see if it's something we can use, and how we can organize it and such. So anyway, stay tuned for that. Next thing I sold was these pair of Ferragamos that I showed in a video one time. And our quick little out of town thrift stop. And I know a few of you had mentioned that kitten heels were really popular right now. So these were half price. I had paid, what did I say, like $1.50 or something like that. I don't know. They were a really good deal that day, and they sold for $42 is the offer that I took. Then same area, different trip. I picked up this t-shirt for like $3 or something. It was new with tags, which was kind of cool. If you look down here, it came with these tags on it. It was a Toltecs vintage t-shirt, and it was for Arizona Rattlers. And anyway, it took a while, but we had it listed and it ended up selling for $50. I don't think there was any comps because of the nature of it, and so we just threw a price up there, $90 best offer, got a $50 offer and said, sweet, we will take it and move on. Next up is Mountain Hardware, a Canyon shirt it's called. It was in really, really good condition. You can kind of see the fold lines in it, like it had come in the mail and then, you know, catalog or something like that. But nice condition. $34 is what that sold for. I'll show you the little logo, Mountain Hardware. It's kind of like a little bolt if you ever see that on anything. And then just a lot of randomness, probably from that big lot that that Mace had gotten at that thing. And some of these might have been listed separately. I think he was in a cleaning out mode and decided to just put a bunch of stuff together. $25 is the offer we took on that one. And then this one was $29. Z Cavaricci, very 90s, very Y2K, probably more 90s. But I know there's like, they did denim and they did things like that can be a bolo right now because of how that look is so popular. But I had seen this shirt at the thrift store, classic Z Cavaricci sportswear, and I thought, you know, someone will probably want that. It took a few months, $29 is what that sold for. So let's pop over to Poshmark. Quick disclaimer on this one. This was a nice sale. It's a fishing reel. And then after it sold, I was like, oh no. Sporting goods is not a category that you're technically allowed to sell on Poshmark. And so we got away with it. I don't know what category Mr. Pish Posh had cross-posted it into, but I didn't even like think about it. And, you know, it was after it sold, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Sporting goods is one of those, like, they just don't cover sporting goods. Maybe they'll add it at some point, you know, but I had to go quick kind of look through our listings and make sure there wasn't like a baseball glove or something like that in there too. But $70, somebody still was looking for, came across it on Posh and bought it. And then another vintage hat for $20, just a local like paving company, kind of randomness from Kalispell, Montana, and that sold for $20, but it did have like a patch style, which is popular in these trucker hats. Then these jeans I picked up totally on style alone. They were bell bottoms and they had kind of a Southwest look and they were teeny tiny, but so they didn't fly off the shelf, but they did sell for $26. And like I said, that brand, Rock and Roll Denim, I only picked it up because of how the jeans looked. They do let you sell electronics on Poshmark. They will give you, no matter what type of electronic, even if it's like a cell phone case or something like that, if it's in the electronics category, you will not get a priority mail label, but you'll get like a ground advantage label instead, and that's in case there's batteries or things like that. So just FYI. So this little slide projector, it holds like 2 slides at a time. Super cute little thing. I feel like this has been bouncing around my garage for like years. Finally got it listed. It worked and everything, and it sold for $35 on Poshmark of all places. Sitka gear. I think we've mostly, I don't know if we've sold clothing by Sitka gear, but at least a couple hats. And then this beanie was, you know, the blaze orange, which can be somewhat popular, and that sold for $20. And another pair of jeans. I honestly, pants and jeans are not my favorite clothing items. I'll list them, I'll sell them. I don't mind it, but just not my favorite. I don't know why, but and American Eagle, I know other resellers have talked about American Eagle as being kind of like their bread and butter, but like selling, like Poshmark sellers, you know, certain styles and things they'll sell for $20, $15, $20. They just, if they get them at the bins or whatever, they know they can just kind of move them quickly. But I don't I don't want to do jeans for a small amount, but when I saw these, I was like, man, these are so exactly what's in style right now. The super wide leg, the baggy, they were a size 14, which was a bigger size, which was nice. They were cargo, and I think they were only from like last year. The date on them, it had a date code. Like they were pretty recent jeans. And so I did get some lowball offers, but I went ahead and held off and got a $30 offer on Poshmark and took that. Then over on Ruby Lane, just a small little $10 coffee mug sale, and it actually went overseas. The buyer asked if I need to update all my shipping things on Ruby Lane. I haven't gotten around to doing it yet, but they wanted it shipped overseas, and so they paid definitely more than $10 to have that happen. And the other sale that week was this $20 sterling seagull brooch. It could also work as a pendant. Then we'll pop over to Etsy. I'll show you. Yeah, let me show you this one first. This is a vase. It's acrylic or resin. It's a vase, candle holder, whatever you want to call it. The maker is Sasha Brestoff. And let me see if I can get the bottom. So it says Sasha B. or Sasha B. Brestoff. And so this sold on Etsy for $49. It had been listed for a little while. It's very cool looking. What I wanted to say about this is if you see this material in animals, signed Sasha Brestoff, the animals figurines in these material, that's where the money is. So the vases are okay, and we actually did pretty good on this, $49. We got better price on Etsy than we would have gotten on eBay, but it's as I researched the candle holder, which I had picked this up at Goodwill one day. As I researched that, I just was like, oh, it's the animals I need to look for. So those prices go a lot higher. Another Etsy sale that week was this just flower frog. Like it's a cage style, metal cage style flower frog for $25. And then we did have one other sale, but for some reason Etsy's not letting me open the listing. So it's this little enamel dish. I got it at our ongoing estate sale that has dried up so far lately, and it's Norway enamel. It's really small. It's like 3 or 4 inches across. And as you can see, it just says it's unavailable, sold out, and it won't let me open it. I totally forgot to look in our emails to see how much it sold for, but I have $34 on the brain for what that sold for. Anyway, you got a sneak peek of something that sold today, but we're not going to talk about that for a couple of weeks, and that's going to be in a future video. Okay, hopefully you'll have forgotten by then. I will talk to you guys later. Hoping you're having a great week, and like I said, I'll put the link to Vendoo down below if you want to check anything out. And there'll be a code. My link plus the code, I think, is 40% off your first month. So I'll just throw that out there. And anyway, I don't have anything else to say because I have a headache. And I need to figure out what I'm doing tomorrow, if I'm going sourcing, what's going on. And maybe I'll have a little haul video for you soon if I find some amazing things. So I will talk to you guys later, and leave the comments. You guys know what to do. Leave the comments of stuff you've sold or found, or the amazing things that have been going on in your reselling businesses. Talk to you later.